The Simply Good Foods Company isn't salty with their recent performance at Quest Nutrition, but that doesn't mean it isn't seeking more. I'll decode that introductory statement a bit later in this content, but on January 4th of 2024, the Simply Good Foods Company reported its fiscal 2024 first quarter earnings for the period ending November 25th of 2023. As I normally do on these quarterly updates, I'll start by running through some high-level financial data to update you on how the Simply Good Foods Company performed recently, but more importantly, I'll use the earnings report, notes I took from listening to the earnings conference call, and any relevant publicly disclosed news to give context for my expanded strategic commentary on trends that are happening within the nutritional snacking space. For those new to my content that might not be too familiar, the functional CPG brands that are within the Simply Good Foods Company portfolio are Atkins Nutritionals, yes, originating from the Atkins diet, and Quest Nutrition. The portfolio had quarterly revenue of $308.7 million, which was up 2.6% year over year. After lapping the price increases from last year, the growth is almost exclusively coming from positive volume. On a quarter over quarter sequential basis, revenue was down 3.7%. In terms of geographic performance, North America was up 2.6% year over year, and international increased 0.7% year over year. At this point, Simply Good Foods Company generates somewhere around 97% of its total revenue from the North American market. Its top two international markets are Australia and New Zealand. Looking quickly at the margin side, the company had gross margins of 37.3%, which was up 40 basis points year over year, but down 30 basis points quarter over quarter. It was noted that the improving gross margins were the result of lower ingredient and packaging costs. Now, shifting back into the sales activity, the total Simply Good Foods Company retail takeaway for the 13 weeks ending November 26th of 2023 increased 7.1% in the US measured channels. If you combine the measured and unmeasured channels, retail takeaway is estimated at a positive 8%. As a portfolio, the Simply Good Foods Company is below the nutritional snacking categorical average of 12% growth this quarter, but that's due to the Atkins Nutritionals brand dragging down Quest Nutrition. So let's shift into a deep dive of individual brand performance, and let's kind of start with a recap of how the Atkins Nutritional brand did during this quarter. Even if you haven't been an avid follower of my content over the past several years, you intuitively assume, at least I think you do, that it's been tough sledding recently for the weight management category. This has been made even more complicated with the approval of the GLP-1 pharmaceuticals for weight loss. Even though the weight management category is evolving, company-supported consumer research showed that 80% of consumers are looking to lose weight or maintain a healthy eating lifestyle, and Atkins is distinctively and uniquely positioned as the most trusted low-carb, low-sugar solution. Moreover, when consumers try Atkins products, they are pleased and delighted. Yet, as you'll see from the brand results this quarter, which I'll admit is historically poor because of the late fall, early winter fiscal year timing, there seems to be a disconnect between what people say about the Atkins brand and the company's ability to properly reach those people to create positive commercial results. Retail takeaway in US measured channels for the Atkins brand was down about 6% year over year. It's estimated that combining US measured and unmeasured channels would result in about a 4% negative retail takeaway for the quarter. This is mostly driven by Amazon offsetting some of the measured channel softness by having retail takeaway growth of 12% year over year with the Atkins brand. But I'm not telling the Simply Good Foods team really anything they didn't realize, because they just recently put in action a comprehensive 5-point Atkins revitalization plan. Last quarter, I went into detail sharing my thoughts and insights around that entire program, but I'll share a quick listing of those focal areas for the too long did not watch crowd. The Simply Good Foods Company leadership is looking at a 12 to 18 month outlook for these strategic focuses to exhibit full results. That being said, the current January to March New Year, New Me period that spans the company's fiscal quarter two and into quarter three is extremely important because it will give them leading indicators that aspects of the plan are taking hold in the marketplace. But the 5 point Atkins revitalization plan focuses on enhanced merchandising and assortment at select customers, new advertising supported by a reach based media model, greater focus on a near and longer term robust innovation funnel, product upgrades on the bar portfolio, and new packaging. And then finally, targeted communication strategy to consumers interested in GLP-1 weight loss drugs. But now let's take a deeper look at the recent performance of Quest Nutrition, which has continued to outshine its legacy brand portfolio counterpart. In fact, Quest Nutrition now makes up 57% of the total revenue generated by the entire portfolio and has more than doubled its revenue since it was acquired in November of 2019. Retail takeaway for Quest Nutrition across the tracked channels increased about 20% year over year, driven by almost entirely volume growth. The brand continues to outperform the active nutrition segment of the nutritional snacking category. This outperformance is being driven by an increase in household penetration, significant base velocity growth, increasing buy rates, distribution gains, and new product introductions. If we add in the unmeasured channels, the blended retail takeaway growth of Quest Nutrition lowers a bit to about 19%. While Quest bars are still the king of Amazon, growth on e commerce, which makes up about 21% of the total Quest Nutrition sales, has slowed a bit, and the brand also has been continuing a sales channel deprioritization of specialty. Looking at specific Quest product categories more closely, retail takeaway growth of the bars this quarter was about 16%. The snacks segment of Quest Nutrition, which now makes up about 45% of the measured channel retail sales, saw retail takeaway growth of 24%. But if we take this one layer deeper, it gets us into what I was referring to in that introductory statement. The salty side of the Quest snack segment had quarterly retail takeaway growth of about 45%. Quest Trips now makes up about 20% of the total Quest Nutrition revenue. Furthermore, around 30% of the new users to the brand have come from chips. Salty snacks are where I'd argue the most excitement lies, but it's just one bullish brand layer stacked on many other categorical ones within the Simply Good Foods company. I'll start by opening the aperture to share categorical market outlook insights and then bring it back to what role it plays with Quest Nutrition. The Simply Good Foods company believes that the nutritional snacking category can double over the next 5 to 7 years. So it's important for Quest Nutrition to act more as the preeminent category leader and category advisor for its retailers. This is a portion taken from Big CPG's playbook, where a company develops multi year partnerships with retailers to build additional space and additional focus on a category. That moves them from more of a transactional approach to categorical leadership, and then finally to a longer term, more strategic approach where it's about building plans together to double down on the category. And it's Quest Nutrition that can evolve in this way, partly because the brand will reach billion-dollar retail sales status by the end of this year. Additionally, the company's leadership has been clear that it's going to double down on important aspects of its business. For one, Quest Nutrition has proven it's one of the few brands that can successfully extend across multiple product forms. Additionally, its customer base expects them to come into an indulgent snacking category and flip it into great tasting offerings that are higher in protein and lower in the stuff that you don't want, like carbs and sugar. I think most people forget about how innovative Quest Nutrition has been since the very beginning of the brand, and its constant product innovation that has been a key driver of new buyers into the brand and increased the household penetration. So, with its eye on sizable, conventional salty snack categories that have cross channel movement, I'd be surprised if they don't figure out a protein pretzel, puffed cheese item, and maybe even a spin on the traditional trail mix. And then, despite the brand's impressive growth and it being a pioneer of the nutritional snacking category, Quest Nutrition has like mid teen household penetration, and its aided brand awareness with US consumers is 20 percentage points behind Atkins. So, Quest Nutrition recently picked a new lead creative agency of record. The New York office of BBH works on projects with CPG brands like Heineken and the JM Smucker Company, where the new CEO came from, plus the king of retail, Walmart. But the new Quest Nutrition marketing and advertising campaign will debut in February, and I'm excited to see what they had come up with to drive greater brand awareness and household penetration. But I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. If you did, consider hitting the like button to support me. Also, help me get to my new short-term goal of 4,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. I'd love to see you join me on this journey, but we need to fix the fact that I think over 90% of you that are watching this YouTube video right now are not subscribed to my channel, and that makes me extremely sad. But I do want to thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.